here's my weapons of choice. That took me about an hour to get that one mound, 3.5 ton. I have never ever experienced fertilizer so bad in a bin. But welcome back, everyone. Funnily enough, I was talking to my mate on Friday night, and yeah, they'd done a few more hectares than us, and he was talking about their blend, so MAP urea blend. They had to chip pretty much the whole lot out of the bin. It was that bad, and I was like, oh damn, that sucks, you know, like how long was it in the bin for? Oh, not even a month. Well, that's about the same, and it is shocking. It is just, I don't know whether they unloaded that stuff in the rain or what, but seems to have picked up an awful lot of moisture for a few weeks. Like, you expect it to be a little hard at times to come out, but usually when you get it flowing it goes, and well, this ain't doing that. She's fighting the whole way. I'm gonna need more caffeine to deal with that. That is shocking. Oh my goodness, that is not how you want to start your morning. That has just killed my time. But anyway, we've got enough in there now to fill the air seeder, so that's what I was chasing. I had to walk back and grab my ute. Well, I grabbed my ute because I wanted to grab a hammer, and I thought if I keep having any trouble, I'll probably have to take a ladder over there, because the only way to get in those bins is through the manhole, and well, you're not going to do that when it's got fertilizer in it. So I thought I'll take a hammer over. If that doesn't work, I'm going to have to come back and get a ladder and get up the top and just start chipping it off bit by bit. But yeah, got it moving with the hammer. Not the best thing for the bottom of the bin, but seems to be a problem every year, so they do get a few taps from time to time just to vibrate that stuff on the cone down. So anyway, hopefully it frees up. Sort of was starting to run a little bit by the end, but yeah, I have my doubts. I think next time I come back I'm going to fight it just as much. So where were we last episode? I think I finished that first paddock of vetch, didn't I? It was Anzac Day. We had a little bit of rain on the forecast. We ended up getting about 5 mil that night, which was quite a surprise. So the next day I went around and did some vetch for the neighbour, knocked that off, and yeah, we had another 0.5 mil last night. So it's not much, it's not enough to get anything to grow, but it's enough to keep the dust down, which is awesome. So just want to keep moving while there's that little bit of moisture there. Just conditions are a little bit nicer and not going to make such a dusty mess. So we've got a bit of feed barley to go in. I'm just getting organised to go up and make a start on that now. I sort of want to keep moving fairly well with seeding now anyway, because yeah, it really is, we're about to enter May, and you know, the models, they flirt around with the idea of systems, and the chance of them ever coming off is low, but it's interesting to see nonetheless. And you know, you think if we did actually manage to get 15 or 20 mil of rain in early May, we'd want some stuff in the ground, so just to make the most of it. But so yeah, we've got to keep moving along here. Not to mention, I've still got a couple of piles of gypsum out in the paddock that, yeah, I'm gonna have to choose some calm mornings to go and spread. But look, one of those paddocks that's going to canola, or is down to go to canola, if it's not going to rain until June this year, then that paddock of canola is not going to go in, and we'll put something else there. So I don't know whether I really want to go and spread that gypsum in there, or I'll go put it out where I'm going to grow some beans this year. We'll wait and see. And you might be saying, why aren't you going to grow canola this year, Henry? Well, we are beyond dry here. This is like a desert, and it's $150 a hectare just for the GM canola seed. That's a huge expense when you've just got not a lot of hope in the season. I could quite happily go and put some wheat or barley there, and it will be nowhere near that cost. And I mean, that's only the seed. We're not talking about pre-emergence or fertilizers or any of that other stuff either. So the cost of growing canola is huge, and it likes good conditions to do well, and we don't have good conditions at the moment. It's not saying that we won't have good conditions in spring, but yeah, if it's a really, really late break, I just have not a lot of faith in the season. It puts a lot of pressure on the spring, and yes, we've had some favourable springs in recent years, not the last couple of years, but yeah, just I don't know, it's risk versus reward, and it's all just a gamble at the end of the day, so you're just trying to make the best decisions with the information that you have at hand. Now if you're also wondering why we're using the old girl still when we've got 2 trucks as part of the partnership that we've set up with Luke, we will get the other truck and the tipper here at some point. It's just, we're just doing like little bits and pieces at the moment. 60 hectares of feed barley, 60 hectares of vetch, and that thing's got 3 bins and it's just really convenient. So just able to put something in each different bin, and plus we haven't put a divider in the tipper yet, so we will do that at some point so we can have seed, you know, in one side, fertilizer in the other side. But we haven't got there yet, so we will still run that old thing a little bit this seeding. Probably just keep the seed in that one and put the fert in the tipper once we really get cranked into it. It is a little chilly this morning, so warm coffee is nice. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to throw some barley in, we'll calibrate that for the year, and then we've got a little bit of map left in the fertilizer bin still. I'll just run that out, then I'll put the blend in maybe up there, we'll take the truck up there, and once we run out we'll put the blend in and we'll calibrate that as well. Alright, that calibration came out absolutely mint. It said, it estimated I'd put out 10.71 kilos and I'd put out 10.8. So they were very, very close. Just made my adjustments there on the screen. We'll finish filling this up and then we can maybe make a start for the day. Although I tell you, I'll probably go have some lunch first because it's just about lunchtime. So yeah, fuel up and then head off. So I was just having myself an absolutely epic lunch, and I was thinking about it. I thought, you know, I'm probably going to need a bit more barley in the truck so that when the truck goes up I can fill the fert, calibrate that, then I can top the seed up. I'll have enough to get done. So I thought I'd better come over and top this up, then I can probably run the truck up there, get someone to pick me up, go up in the tractor, seed for a while, fill everything, calibrate, and then I can come back in the truck tonight. So little change of plans, but yeah, trying to be as efficient as we can. And I don't know if you've noticed, but when you're doing this stuff, when I'm doing this on my own at seeding time, I can probably get about 30 to 50 hectares done a day on my own. So it is quite slow, but we're getting it done. That's the main thing. That's why I've got to start early. So here's what it is. I meant to say start seeding early. That's why we've got to start seeding in April. It takes a while to get through it. See if I can't muster up a lift here, and I think tomorrow or the next day we're going to go and get that tipper. So we've got an extra truck, extra storage, that way less filling little bins here. So I think from now on we will be seeding fairly consistently, so I think it's time. I don't think there's any dramas with getting through the straw. After we stripped it.
It's the thickest idea.
Is it? Yeah.
The top, although that won't be as high as this.
Alright guys, let's actually get going and doing a bit of seeding. You know, before when I said that I can get 30 to 50 hectares done a day on my own, that is when I have to spray as well. If I'm just seeding feed, like at the moment, and I just had a good run where I'd go out and seed all day, well yeah, I'd be able to do a lot more than that. But yeah, usually during the thick of seeding, when it's just, if I'm on my own, Dad's busy taking care of sheep and whatever in the feed lot, and I'm just out there, I'll, yeah, 30 to 50 is about my limit. So I had this annoying rattle coming from this side of the cab that started last year, and I could not for the life of me figure out what it was. I pulled apart the cab mount down the bottom here when I was pre-seasoning it, lubed it up, didn't make any difference. Well, I was cleaning the windows yesterday, I think, and I climbed up and I hit the mirror. And I hit the mirror and I went, and I was like, that is where my noise is coming from. There's a wing nut just out there, and it had come loose. And that was what was causing the bloody rattle. So that's a problem fixed. I'm happy about that. So the truck's in here. This paddock here is about 30 hectares, something like that. There's another little piece over the back here that's only like 16 hectares. I was going to go in there and do that first until I run out of fert, but then I'm going to be all the way back there. The truck's all the way here, so I think we'll just make a start in this paddock, and we'll go to that one tomorrow. But there must be some people who are sitting there going, who's got a 15 hectare paddock these days? What business have you got with that? That's so small. Yeah, well, I don't know. That's just the country here. I don't know if you can see, but like the top of this hill is just completely full of rock, and it's the same back there, and that gully is unarable one side, unarable the other side. It's just a little bit through the valley and through on one of the rises that we can crop. And so that's just how it works. So yeah, we've got some weird shaped land. We've got some funny shaped paddocks, some steeper stuff, some stuff that's not that much fun, to be honest. But you know, that's the area we farm. So we've got to work with what we got. See that little bit of moisture in the top there. Anyway, I think we should get into it. Boy, is it nice to not see dust just absolutely billowing out from behind me. Just that little bit of moisture in the top part of the soil really keeps the dust down. So man, I am so grateful for that bit of rain we got. Not that you would have any idea looking out across here, but this was the paddock that we used the stripper front on at harvest time. Now there will be a couple of spots here or there where there'll be a bit of longer straw on the ground, so I will have to keep a bit of an eye out, but I mean, geez, there's not much of it left now, is there? You harvest it, run the sheep through here for a while, and yeah, 1.2 tonne to the hectare crop. Doesn't leave much behind, does it? This paddock was particularly bad last year. We really did not have a good crop in here for whatever reason, but you know, there was no good crops anywhere, so that was the year. That's the little paddock I'll have to go into as well. Not very big, not very wide. Could pull this little stretch of fence out between the two, but it would be such an awkward shape anyway, it really doesn't matter. So that's where the fence has always been, and it's just going to stay there for now, I think. That's a wheat. There'll be a bit of wheat out here on the ground, no doubt. Full send, I reckon. Now, if you're not from around here and you're wondering why we are going to the effort of planting a paddock of barley for sheep feed, well, the easiest and most obvious answer for me to say would be that we run sheep and so we want the feed, but really the main reason is grass weed pressure in this paddock is too strong. So if we were to, this had wheat in it last year, it would have gone to barley anyway this year, but if we were to take it through to harvest, we're just going to be adding to that grass weed pressure. Unless we get a decent season break and a knockdown or a weed kill before we plant it, that would help, but we've been struggling for those the last few years. So yeah, and I guess the other thing is you could say, well, you could come in and plant a legume crop or something. You can spray the grasses out of beans, peas, some lentils, something like that. Well, it's just not the most friendly country for that. There's a lot of rocks up here. It's very undulating. It's just not that nice. We try to avoid it, really. A little bit more work in here, we could probably get it to a point where it would be better for that, but that's not the case at the moment. You could say you could plant some canola. We spoke about canola at the start of this episode. If you want to go broke, grow canola. That's how I feel about it after the last 2 years. But you know, they haven't been the best years. So if we had some subsoil moisture and we're going to get a decent break, yes, it's definitely a viable option. And the season was looking alright, but that's just not the case at the moment. So we know what we're going to get out of it from sheep feed. So we'll do that. It's a safe option, and we'll spray it out at the end of the year after it's been grazed to get a really good kill on everything, and then yeah, probably go to a vetch or something like that next year. Clean up the grasses again, graze it, and return a heap of nitrogen for the wheat the following year. I guess that's the thing around here. What are we farming for this year? Are we farming for 2022 crops, 7 tonne to the hectare, or are we farming for 2024, 1 tonne to the hectare? It's just so hit and miss. It's very much feast or famine, and yeah, the famines feel like they go for a while sometimes. You can just start to see the bars in the bottom of the air seeder, so we are starting to get pretty low on fert. I will run it down to absolutely nothing because I do want to calibrate that blend once it goes in, and there's no drama running it down if I do a little bit of a strip without fert because it's only sheep feed.
But you can see the complexity of the two lorries, one offshore New South Wales, one over the inland of New South Wales.
About to run out, just about done. It's looking a bit cool and breezy out there too now. I have to get my jumper out of the truck, I reckon. Oh yeah, it's gotten fresh out here. I'm reluctant to push this back all the way since it damaged the foam on that hose last year. Might see if I can prop that hose up actually for when I calibrate. Just get it away from that door a bit. I won't be sad when all the calibrations for the year are done. Got my special service tools under here. A couple of rocks under there to hold the hoses up so they're not pressing on that door seal. Luckily we got no shortage of those. Right, let's see how we did. Yeah, it's fairly close. Shouldn't be too bad. I'll just have to update that number. And we'll see where we came in at, but looks like that stuff out there is a little bit heavier again, so the same story with the map. Anyway, that was Stacey and the kids ringing to see if I'd be up for dinner soon. It's already 5:30. I can't believe the day's just disappeared, but I did get probably 5 more hectares seeded than I thought before I ran out of fertilizer, so that took me a little bit longer than what I was thinking, but anyway, I think we'll finish getting this field and knock off for the day. Barley's full. Got the 2314 in the back bin, that's calibrated, doors are all shut. So look, it's going to be dark soon. I think we'll head home and I'll come back bright and early tomorrow and crack back into it, get this feed barley done. Alrighty guys, that is all I've got for you today. I'm going to leave the video here now. We managed to get a whopping 15 hectares seeded up there, so not a lot, but we are headed in the right direction and that's the main thing. I would just like to give a quick shout out to our video sponsor here, Market Check. If you are looking for any assistance with your grain marketing, head over and check them out. They got information, research, education, grain marketing strategies. I will link all their information down below as I do every video. And with all that being said, I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. We really do appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, you know what to do. If not, all good. You guys have yourselves a good one. And until next time, see ya. What do you got?